With your CIGTV News Update, I'm Donna Bush. Glad you could join us. The annual Queen's Birthday Parade and celebrations took place on Saturday. Hundreds of residents attended the annual event held in the center of Georgetown in front of the Legislative Assembly. Now, uniformed support services, including the Veterans, Girls Brigade, Cadet Corps, were joined by government ministers and officials and the general public. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth is celebrating her 93rd birthday. As it has traditionally, attendees are dressed in their finest clothes for the special annual event. Now, from downtown, residents were invited to the governor's house on West Bay Road, where His Excellency, as you just saw moments ago, tried his hands at playing the steel pan. And I must say, he did a great job for his first time. Now, during the garden party, everyone has the chance to mingle and enjoy great food and music. Also making our headlines, sadly, well-known attorney and judge Justice Charles Quin passed away over the weekend. A statement from His Excellency Governor Martin Roper says, "With great sadness, I learned of the passing of Justice Charles Quin. He was a well-respected man who had contributed greatly to justice in the Cayman Islands and the local region over a long career. We are indebted to him for his service. My condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues at this sad time." We also offer our condolences to the family of the late Justice Charles Quin. Finally, a National Roads Authority pilot scheme will get underway shortly with lighted pedestrian crossings being installed along the CNB roundabout through the newly built extension to the roundabout at the intersection of Crew Road and Printers Way. Now, the purpose of the pilot project is to find a solution to the potential problems posed by pedestrians who choose to cross the roundabout at locations and in ways which may prove both disruptive and dangerous to all road users. Now, officials tell us that the reason the CNB roundabout has been chosen for the pilot is because it is one of the few major roundabouts where the approach speeds are at 30 miles per hour and below. A reminder, though, to pedestrians and motorists, pedestrians should push the button, wait for the lights, and check approaching vehicles that they've slowed down to a stop before actually stepping out onto the pedestrian crossing. Meantime, motorists must come to a stop by law when a pedestrian is present at the crossing. The Minister for Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, the Honorable Joseph Hugh, explained that this project demonstrates NRA's commitment to improving road safety, access, and user experience for all persons, whether they're traveling on foot, by bicycle, on public transport, or by car. Well, for a look at our weekly schedule of programs here on CIG Television, you can go online to gis.gov.ky. If you happen to have missed our news update for today or during the week, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page or the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, as always, thanking you for joining me, wishing you a wonderful and, of course, a very safe night, and inviting you back here again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
The Esterly-Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.
Did you know your mailing address details on your land register must be up to date in order to receive notices on new development which may impact you?